friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today this is a rant that I would prefer not doing. This is something that came out of left field. Some of my friends have followed me on Twitter and Facebook have probably certainly got a good laugh or a chuckle out of my recent frustrations with playing this game which I've been waiting 20 years to experience. This Mad Max game, which is a fantastic game. This is the first game since Grand Theft Auto 5 that I've wanted to 100% complete and go through and just uncover every mystery in the game, unearth every corner, every hidden location. There's quite a bit to it, and there's a lot of hidden locations that aren't even on the map. It's exciting to explore, and Avalanche Studios did a wonderful job creating frankly, a quite ambitious game, considering there's no real hard borders. You can even go past the edges of the map and keep driving for quite a ways and see if you can make it through the storms and some of the pitfalls once you go outside the map, which is possible. So it's a fantastic concept, and it's very well done. But last Saturday morning, I got up early in the morning with my coffee. I'm half asleep, and I turn the game on. My wife is sitting at her PC, and she's talking to me, and I've got our coffee, and she's got her coffee, and we're talking away. And when I did my last rant last Friday, I went back and created a second save file and went in just to play the very beginning of the game, just to show like the opening title screen, which I just wanted to show like the screen that loads the game. So I wanted to go back to the beginning. So I created a second save file for that. And then when I shut my computer off, I ejected the disk, shut my PS4 off, took the PS4 away from my PC, brought it back into the living room, hooked it back up to the console, but didn't play the game again. So Saturday morning, I got my coffee, and I'm, turning the game on, and it says, "Do you want to resume the game?" Oh yeah, I want to resume my game. And I got 102 hours in this SOB. I want to get back in, roll my sleeves up. I was excited about the progress. I ate all my peas and carrots first to save my steak and dessert for last with this game. I was saving the main story and some of the best wasteland missions for last so I could really savor them. I literally found every item on the map, every piece of scrap, 102 hours getting ready just to finally have the main course. And I turned the game on and it said resume game. Oh yeah, I want to resume my game. So I hit the resume button and I'm going back to the very beginning of the game. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I go, oh, that's right, the last file that I had was a save file. I was just wanted to show the beginning loading screen, which I don't even think I used, ironically. So I quickly went and hit the main menu button, exited the game, hit the main menu, and then in the main menu you just go to autosave, and I said, well, I'll just pick the other autosave. Obviously I picked the wrong one, So I go and hit the autosave, and immediately, without thinking, with my coffee, I'm half asleep, multitasking, and I want autosave 1, because autosave 2 was the new one, to go back and play the game from the beginning to show that cutscene, which I never used. And then I quickly went to 1 and hit X, and the minute I hit X, this little screen comes up and says, are you sure you want to do this? It overwrites, it was too late. I already overwrote 102 hours of gameplay. And I sat, it's like someone just knocked the wind out of me. I'm like, I can't believe I can't retrieve this. And all my friends are like, oh, dude, just go into PlayStation Plus, and you can, it doesn't change until midnight. You can go and find your own save file. Well, that's great if you have PlayStation Plus, which I don't. Because they want me to leave a credit card number, which is one of my gripes about modern gaming. In fact, I had 6 weeks of free free PlayStation Plus, and all of these codes for weeks and weeks with Killzone and Far Cry 4, all of this stuff. None of them I could use unless I left a credit card number where I could resume paying for PlayStation Plus at the end of the day, which I wouldn't do. So I don't have PlayStation Plus, so it wasn't an option. And even if I went in and bought it and spent the $50 or $60 for it, it wouldn't matter because there's no cloud from that point back to go back and retrieve the data. So it's 102 hours gone. And I mean, it just literally ruined my Saturday. My wife and I had a whole day planned on going out running errands, going out to eat, which we did. We went to eat, and we actually had a nice time. And I just said, you know what, it is what it is. I'll deal with it when I get home. So I got home, I said, you know what, it's my fault. I should have slowed down and realized that. Typically, when you go into an autosave file, you usually have 3 options. You can either load that save file, you can delete it if you want, or you can overwrite it. So usually there's like an extra precaution, an extra fail-safe stop along the way to make sure that you don't accidentally click a button and in a microsecond it's gone. But whatever, Avalanche did it that way, and that's fine. So it's not their fault. I take full responsibility. That's one of those things. You just have to suck it up and deal with it. So I just said, oh well. So I went that afternoon, I came back, and I rolled my sleeves up and dove in again. I said, I'm going to go back into the wasteland. I said, well, the good news is I've learned some things. I mean, 50, 60 hours into this game, and I didn't even know how to play it. 50 hours, and I still couldn't figure out what my next objective was. It's so vague. They need a fucking booklet with this game that gives you the basics of it. I watched a developer interview, and they said, oh yeah, well, this is like, Demon Souls. We don't want to do any hand-holding. We want the players to figure it out for themselves. And that's fine. I mean, I can understand a little bit some of the logic in that. To me, it's a little lazy, but... And then the fact that there's no stinking strategy guide for a game this huge with so many things to upgrade and RPG elements and things that they could have maps and hidden locations and all. That'd be kind of great to cover. This would be a thick strategy guide, but they chose not to have one. Prima supposedly has a thing on, you can go online and check it out, and even that has like half of the missions, and then it's like, well, stay tuned for later when we'll have more missions, which they've never never uploaded unless things have changed in the last 24 hours. So the game is a great game, but if you don't know the game, it's a real problem. Sorry about that. Then he's screwing with my tripod. I had to put him in his room. It's always something. So the game is frustrating because there's like 5 or 6 major things that I didn't know, and I'm going through the game and I'm getting stuck. I'm having to stop the game, go online, go to Google, and I'm finding other people and even other game reviewers on YouTube had the exact same problem. They got to this one mission, they didn't know what to do. They're just hours of just spinning your wheels, and it's frustrating. There's no direction. Include a fucking manual in the game. What happened to game manuals? You get a game like this wonderful Jedi Outcast. Look at this fucking manual. It's huge, it's thick, it's beautiful. It's got all the details, all the weapons are covered, everything. Why can't they do a manual in these games? I don't understand it. I just honestly don't understand why they can't have a manual in a game. In this day and age, when games are this deep and this complex, have a manual. You're not even going to have a strategy guide. It's bad enough. So luckily with the internet, you can go on, you can find most of your answers, and that's fine. So even getting past that, I said, well, maybe there's a silver lining in this, because now at least I know what to do, and I won't be spinning my wheels. And I mean, I used the 102 hours to just find everything on the map. I said, fine. I mean, I'll just keep, if I uncover something, it'll trigger the mission. So I just kept playing and playing and playing. And then it's a simple solution. It's nothing broken in the game in that respect with the story mission. You just have to know the syntax. If you don't know precisely what to do, you will not figure it out. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people, even my nephew, just texted me last night. And he goes, Uncle Dean, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I went to the place like you said, and there's a specific syntax. You have to build this car, build everything but the one part. Then you drive it to this fortress or location. Then they let you in. They won't let you in unless you have that car set up with those upgrades. You go in there, then you get the final upgrade. It's a simple thing. If you don't know it, you could spend another 40 hours playing the game. Very frustrating. So I said, at least I know what to do. At least this time around, I know how to do the melee. I was getting my ass handed to me over and over again with the melee fighting, which is so satisfying. I love that aspect of the game. So at least now I've got my fighting skills are up and I know what to do. So this time around, man, I was just blowing through the game. I said, man, this is great. Now, I lost the initial wonderment of a surprise of discovering new areas. And of course, that's gone now. I mean, I was hoping that my second playthrough might have been 6 months or a year from now. And by then, I've kind of forgotten most of the places and it'd be like new all over again. But that's okay. I had fun doing it. And this time around, I could try new tactics. So in many respects, I've actually enjoyed the second playthrough a lot more than the first, because at least I know what the hell I'm doing, which is part of the battle. There's some on iced tea now. I've already swilled a pot of coffee because I'm wound up. I was going to do this rant yesterday, and I had some friends of mine that kind of know where I'm going with this. And they go, Dean, you really should do a rant on this. And I go, well, I kind of planned on it, but And I don't like to be a negative person. People that know me know I keep it positive. I don't get into all this negativity of the end of the world stuff and politics and religion and all this garbage. I'm just sick of it. I just play games. I just want to have a good time with escapism and escape to my favorite place within the arena of the mind. To me, that's what gaming's all about. That's what the hobby's all about. So I keep it positive and I stay focused on what I love about gaming. I just did a rant just recently, a couple YouTube videos ago, about why nitpick games and why be so negative with games, because I think that people need to look at the positive side. You get a glass that's half full of water or half empty. It depends on how you look at it. And I've always been an optimist in that respect, especially with games. I'm pretty forgiving. Like I said, the only time that I'll complain about a game is if there's something broken, like game-breaking bugs. And when I think of game-breaking bugs, what games come to mind? This Medal of Honor. Now, I don't know if it's the same on the Xbox 360. This had a major game-breaking bug where I could not get past the checkpoint. And it was in the game, it wasn't me. And I just kept trying and trying and trying and trying and going back to the last checkpoint, retrying like 7 or 8 attempts, and finally I go, fuck this. And I went back like another whole level and then replayed that entire level, and then it let me pass. I go, thank God. There were a couple other minor little buggy issues in this, but other than that, I got through the game and I had a lot of fun with this 2010 Medal of Honor. I really liked this game. Maybe it's better on the Xbox 360. I don't know. Another game that comes to mind, think of bugs, game-breaking bugs, Call of Duty 3. Now, a wonderful game. Treyarch, beautiful job in this. I love the graphics in it. I like the mission structure. The level design is awesome. I've had a lot of fun. In fact, I finished this last year. I think I went through and did like a Call of Duty marathon and played 5 Call of Duties back to back, and this is one of the ones I never finished. I replayed it from the beginning and really enjoyed it. This also, just like Medal of Honor, had a game-breaking bug where you could not get through the level. I kept going back, checkpoint, wouldn't work. Finally, I replayed the whole level. It let me through, and I had a good time at the end of the day. And I would review that. I probably would mention the bug that I have, but it's still a good game. Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, another one. Now, this one was even better performed better than the other two, and I like this game a lot. This one really surprised me, and is a great under-the-radar hidden gem right here. This is a great game. But this also had a thing where to move certain cars or to open certain doors, you need your partner to come up next to you to buddy up with you, and you push together. You got to line up and hold this button, and sometimes it just wouldn't work. And I'd have to try it over and over again and go back a checkpoint, but eventually I got through this. This was a little buggy, just with that one little mechanic in it. But in other people I discovered had the same problem. So it's, it's frustrating, but you'll get through the game, and you have a good time anyway. Of course, I think of, other people that had problems with Rage. Now, I had a very smooth experience on the Xbox 360. If it's installed, it's a superior version of play. The PS3 had some severe texture pop-in problems, and I guess on the PCs it was very buggy, severe texture pop-in problems, and just some strange transitions and things with this game on PC. I would like to think that it was patched and fixed for my PC friends. This game had issues, but not for me, so I was fortunate in that respect. This is the granddaddy of them all. Is this another great movie license game? And I really want to give this another shot and try this. In fact, I disliked it so much I took the nice brand new case and traded it for one of my other used games and put the old used game case with a sticker on this just because I was frustrated with the game. But I don't have the heart to get rid of it because it's a great concept and I would like to play the game. And I just ironically just bought the Blu-ray of the sequel to the original Star Trek film, Into Darkness, to watch on my new 3D television. In fact, I bought a new pair of glasses so my wife can watch a movie with me too. The 3D thing is over the top, by the way. It's fantastic. But getting back to this game had a game-breaking bug that would not let me pass. You had to open a door up or something with Spock. He has to get up next to you. He wouldn't do it. I kept going back and redoing checkpoints. Finally, I had to go back to the beginning of the game and start over. And by then, I go, fuck this. And I took the game and parked it on the fucking floor. That's it. That was the end of that. I said, okay, I'm done. I'm done with that game. And it's sad because I'd like to play the game. I'd like to go back and play it, but instead I just quietly put it on the shelf and I'm done with it. And that's typically what happens. If I have a problem with a game, I'm just not interested. It's like it rapes the joy right out of the fucking game. Dead Island. Another game I bought brand new. Pre-ordered this game. Bought this. Started playing it. Had a wonderful time with it. It was a little buggy, but I had no issues with it personally. My nephew came over, a few days into the game and goes, "Oh, Uncle Dean, this is great." And I'm kind of a sucker. I'm a softie. And so I pulled a game out of the Xbox 360 and I said, "Well, here, dude, I know you have limited time. Take it and enjoy it. When you're done with it, bring it back." I gave him the game and the thick strategy guide. He went home and rolled his sleeves up, and man, did he love this. He had over 80 hours in this game, and it had a game-breaking bug where if you collect over 109 collectibles, why that number, who knows, the game, it corrupts your save file, and he lost his entire game save file, which he just reminded me of recently with the problem that I had when I overwrote my 102 hours on Mad Max. Well, what he didn't know is because he didn't have Xbox Live is he didn't get the first week patch, which patched the 32 major issues that were wrong with a game that shouldn't have been released in the fucking first place because it was broken. So because of this game, and when I got the game back, even though I had the patch, I didn't have the heart to play it again. My nephew was so heartbroken over this, and I love the game. I love the melee in this. I love the graphics, the quest, the story, as shitty as it is. I kind of like this game. I have a soft spot for this game, and I still have it in my Xbox 360 hard drive. I don't have the heart to get rid of it, but I just couldn't play it because of my nephew's first-hand problems with this game. So I put this on the shelf, along with the other ones, sadly. And that's probably why I didn't buy Dying Light right off. Because it's like, just the thought of it, I'm like, oh God, another buggy zombie Dead Island game. I don't know if I'm up to it, And I heard the other Dead Island Riptide had issues too, was buggy as hell as well. So that's why I held off on this. I still haven't played it yet. I've got a couple friends of mine, Dean, you've got to play Dying Light. And my friends have had a great time with it. Apparently it plays and looks very nice and smooth on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And even on PC. So I'm anxious to play this, and I have the strategy guide, and we'll get to this in spite of this. But because of what I went through with this, I still cannot find it in me to play this game. It's frustrating because this put such a foul taste in my mouth, what it did to my nephew, and I was afraid it was going to happen to me, even with the patch. I don't trust these patches. So I turned my game on. Where's it at here? I turned my game on the other day, a Mad Max game. And it says a new update for the game. I go, oh good, a patch. I haven't seen any problems with it. Now what's funny is 102 hours in, I finally saw a second frame rate drop. Very minor, maybe down to 27, 28 frames a second instead of 30. But it was noticeable, just enough to notice it. And then I saw a third one. So in 102 hours, I did see 3 specific frame rate drops on the PlayStation 4. I don't know how it is, stability-wise. I heard it's really stable on the PC, and I don't know on the Xbox, which it supposedly plays pretty smooth on as well and looks very similar. It also plays at a high resolution on the Xbox One, which is good. They're finally upping the resolution on the Xbox One. Before, it was always the PS4 had superior resolution, but I'm glad that the Xbox One is finally getting some decent ports of these games. So I haven't had an issue with this. I have seen a couple audio bugs in 102 hours, but very minor. So to me, I didn't even see what really needed to be patched, but they said, oh, we got overall stability and for this and for that, and with the car needs to do this. And so guess what? They patched the game. Now the game is buggy as fucking hell. I have seen another half a dozen frame rate drops just in the 46 hours. I've spent 46 hours trying to reclaim back the 102 hours. Now the game is frame rate drops all the time. The menu is all buggy as hell. I go in there, here's a screenshot. You go into the autosave to save your progress, and it won't let you. You can click on autosave. There's like, it says autosave or superimposed over another word that says autosave. It's all fucked up. There's supposed to be a long list of all your autosaves, and instead, there's not. So you can't even save the game. So I have to exit the game. I have to go back in, reload a game, And then after I've reloaded it, then the option comes up for you to save it. So it's a pain in the ass. Now, one of the things I learned from playing this, I said, well, this time around, because I beat all the convoys and everything, and I kind of regretted that, you know what? I should probably save along the way. Like after every stronghold, I'll save my game. That way, if down the road, if I ever want to go back and show someone the game in one of the early stages before I fully leveled up or before I took down all of the strongholds or the convoys, I can go back and show this game and play the game from certain places. So I said, well, that'll be great. So I actually had 3 save points installed in this game. And, especially once I get into the northern map. So after the second one, then I went to the northern map, Pink Eye's stronghold. And the first thing I do is I find all of the things to build up that stronghold, and then I save the game. Well, I was in the last one, the last item. I had to take down the Twin Sisters Towers, one of the hardest fucking boss battles in this game. One of the hardest strongholds to take down. Or one of them, I can't remember. It was one of the strongholds in the northern area. Brutally tough. Darkside Phil, I watched him almost rage quit the game playing it. I kind of checked ahead to see how he did some of the same strongholds, and he kept playing it over and over. It was tough as hell, but I finally got through it. I was like so close. So I finally said, well, okay, great. Once I get back to my stronghold, I'll build that final stronghold project, and then I'll save my progress, and then I'll continue from there, and I'll go to the next stronghold. I had 1 or 2 left in the game, so I was like right there. So I went to save, and finally I go to the autosave, and finally my option was there to save. I go, oh good. So I went to save the game and started a new file, but when I did it, it corrupted my my map. So now when okay, good, now I saved it, so now I have 4 saves. So I'm starting with 4th save. I go in there, and my map is gone. You hit the center touchpad on the screen, you just touch it, it brings the map up, and then you instantly can kind of pauses the game, and it's great. You can go in and see your waypoints, see what you have left to do, look at all of your objectives. You can set a navigation marker, so that way it highlights the road that you have to take. And I mean, you cannot play the game without it. You cannot play without it. And I'm like, what is going on? So I exit the game, I start to boot the game back up, I try everything. It corrupted not only the 4th save file, but my 3rd save file. So now I have to go back 13 hours. That's longer than most $60 games. I went back 13 hours. I got to go back again on top of the 102 hours. So now I'm pissed. I was into this rant yesterday, and I was like, it was like a nuclear meltdown. I was just fuming over it. And I sent Avalanche a tweet. I said, I have, 150 hours in this game. Could you please patch this game so I can use my map again, please? Of course, I haven't heard anything back from Avalanche. They haven't responded. Nothing. I was kind of hoping they at least put a tweet out there. Look, we're aware of some of the problems. We're fixing it. Because their patch ruined the game. It created more problems than whatever they patched. They've got to fix these fucking games before they get released. I don't care what the game costs. The $60 is well worth it. I'd pay $500 for this game. This game is the most fun I've had in the longest time. I would never replay and reinvest 102 hours in a game if I wasn't obsessed with it and loved it. I just want to see the damn story. I want to see the game play out. I've invested so much in this game. So the fact that I have to go back 13 hours and retake everything in that north map again, which was gruelingly tough, grindingly tough, even though I've leveled up, even though I know the game inside and out. It's like the 3rd time you have to do these strongholds, it just kind of takes the wind out of your sails, which is frustrating. So I'm waiting for Avalanche to patch the game. But in the meantime, I went back in, and I've reinvested, several hours in trying to reclaim that 13 hours. Now what I'm doing is I'm saving more frequently along the way when the game allows me. And 50% of the time I go to pull up that autosave menu and it's corrupted again. I'm afraid to play this game. I'm afraid. I don't want to play it and all of a sudden something breaks and the game just freezes and I can't do anything. It's frustrating. When is this shit going to stop with these new games? This is just heartbreaking. I never, ever had a problem with these older games. Now, I know the games are much more simplistic. I know they don't have near the gigabyte space and all that. I understand that. but every single PlayStation 1, every single PlayStation 2, every single Sega Genesis game that I have can still be played today, and with no problems. Why the hell can't they test the games? I know that there's deadlines, that they're trying to get the game out in time, but they've got to fix the games. I mean, I had more bugs, to be honest with you, and more frame rate drops in Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox 360 than I had in Mad Max. But yeah, I invested over 100 hours in this and got through the game, got a very high achievement score. I didn't do quite 100% it. I had some of the stunt jumps left. There were a few things. I did find every collectible in the game, and I invested a lot of time, and I still need to go back and finish this, but then the new one came out, so now I'm going to be playing, the Xbox 360 version, wherever it is, it's in here somewhere. But, and this game had rife with problems with the online thing, which I never played. I didn't care to even play the online aspect of it. But the game itself overall played fine, and with a few weird clipping issues and a few little mini bugs in this. This wasn't too bad. I mean, it was acceptable, and I don't even mind the frame rate drops. I got through the game and had a wonderful, immersive time with it, as I, am hoping to do with this. But this is absolutely heartbreaking. Finally, a game for me, a game that I like. I don't care for all the medieval stuff. I don't care for the Demon Soul games and all the Witcher games and even the Lord of the Ring games. A lot of it, by and large, is just not my era. So I've been waiting for a good post-apocalyptic game like this and like Fallout 4 that's coming. I hope that Fallout 4, especially with its reputation, Bethesda or whatever, with real buggy games like Fallout Las Vegas and Fallout 3. I mean, let's hope that this next one isn't buggy as hell. I'm getting nervous now. I'm afraid to order new games. I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, let me know in the comments exactly how you feel about this. I mean, I know some of you, that's why I won't buy next gen and all this. And I guess I can't blame you. I suppose that it's easy just to see the problems, to sit back and play armchair quarterback and see someone else having issues. I just won't touch those games. Fuck that. I'll just stick with my Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. And in a way that makes sense, but even those have issues and it can break and there's issues, and now I'm learning to back things up. I'm doing more research and backing up my save files for my Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 because I don't want to lose all my progress on the games that I enjoy, that I want to return to. I have all my Xbox 360 games here, so many of them, regular Xbox games, and all my PlayStation 2 and 3 games over here, and I'm looking forward to going back and returning to those, and I will be buying another backup, Xbox and PlayStation 3, or Xbox 360 eventually. The PlayStation 4 I've had the best of luck with. The only thing that's been buggy is just this game on it. Every game I've played on it's been fine. Now you'll have some, I had some clipping issues and stuff with Far. I got 35 hours in Far Cry 4 and I love this game. And it's understandable in a giant open world game. You're going to have a couple weird buggy issues with a game this ambitious and this big. This is a great game. In fact, I'm looking forward to returning to this after Mad Max. So I'm going to continue my journey into the wasteland. I love this game. The gameplay itself has been smooth and very satisfying. It's just weird bugs with the menu and now the map. But once that map breaks, you're fucked. You cannot proceed. Now what's funny is that I went online and it says, all you have to do is you just go find some scrap, collect the scrap, and the bug goes away. No problem. Other people said you go through and if you're in the middle of an objective or do a mission, once the mission's finished, it fixes the problem. Someone else said take a hot air balloon up. Once you get all the way up, it opens the map up, and then it instantly goes away. I tried all three things. Did 2 objectives. You know how hard it is to drive and do objectives on the other end of the map without a map? But luckily, because I knew the layout of the road so well, I actually did not 1 but 2 objectives. It didn't work. Took not 1, 2 hot air balloons up. It didn't work. I found like 3 things of scrap. Got in several car battles. With no map, got all turned around, and still no map. So what they did is they patched this game, and the new patch fucked up the way to fix the problem. So, this has just gone from bad to worse. So I know some people will be amused by this rant, and they'll say, well, it's Dean, he's getting his comeuppance finally. It's a shame with the game that I love so much. else. Why did it have to happen to this? You know, to have as much fun of me as I have had, and then to get stuck in a quagmire.
We are down 30,000 units of gasoline, 19 canisters of nitro, 12 assault bikes, 7 pursuit vehicles, a deficit mounts, and now, sir, you have us stuck in a quagmire.
Hey, Joe.